Welcome back again to the first Descendants. Now, we're going to be going over to my updated and pretty damn near perfect bunny build, okay? We are basically going to be running around as a tank and absolutely destroying hard mode bosses solo, as you can see in the gameplay in the background. Now, my build isn't 100% completed, as yours wouldn't be. I have been farming a bunch for this character, but I'll show you exactly what we're going to be going after and where to get everything and how to make this thing absolutely ridiculous. My build is pretty damn close. I just need to do a few more things and we'll be going over that right now. So let's go ahead and start off with the screen here, my inventory. Now, the weapons we're going to be using are mainly two different ones. Your Thunder Cage, okay, have that ranked up, and also the Tamer. Now, two different weapons we're going to be using for two different areas, okay. Firstly, the Thunder Cage is going to be great for mobbing and also boss damage if you wanted to go that way, but heavily we're going to be focusing on the Tamer when we're doing boss damage. This thing is an absolute insanity of a weapon, destroying any boss. Now, if we go over to my Thunder Cage, you can see my proficiency is level 20, but I've actually reset this weapon already in order for me to get more module capacity. Now, if you can max it out with an energy activator, which I already have a video on how to farm these, that would be great in order for you to make this weapon even more powerful. And we're going to be going over the modules that we need for this weapon now. So with the modules we're going to be using on the Thunder Cage, now I might change this up here and there in the future, but I'll update you when the build is fully completed. So what we're going to be doing here is using this loadout right there, but we're going to add a few more things to it, okay? We're going to add this one right here, the concentration priority. I can't actually put it up right now because I still need to upgrade the Thunder Cage, but what we're going to do is place this one right over here, okay? And then what we're going to do is add an elemental damage to this spot right over here. Why? Because if we're going to be using this against bosses, for example, if you're going to put on a toxic enhancements right there, you're going to be doing some pretty damn good damage against certain bosses that take more toxic damage, for example. Or you can go ahead and put on a chill enhancement, which is another great one. So more or less, this is what your weapon for the Thunder Cage module loadout should look like. If you want to go ahead and change a few things, there you go. But this is what we're going to be doing for this build. Now, moving over to the Tamer, this is what mine looks like right now, okay? It's not 100% leveled up. I still need to do some more things to it. I still need to reset it and make things cost a little bit less so I can do more upgrades. But what we're going to be doing is a weak points based build with the Tamer, as we are going to be doing that on the bosses. We're going to be heavily focused on the weak point damage. Rifle of Reinforcements is going to give us that 30% increase in firearm attack. The weak point damage is going to increase our damage to weak points by 30%. And also the chill enhancements is just going to give us an elemental damage as well, which is also going to increase our firearm attack. Now, action reaction, again, going to increase your firearm attack. That's what we need. Better insight is going to increase our critical hit rate, is what we need for a bullet hose like the Tamer. That's where fire rates up is going to come into play. I want to rank this up fully to get that increase in fire rates. More fire rate goes up, the more damage we're going to be able to do, especially being a weak point build. Now, in the background gameplay, you've obviously been seeing how I absolutely destroy bosses with this. I'll be showing more examples of that anyway. And for your final weapon, you can go ahead and use anything, really. A good choice would maybe a shotgun or a sniper rifle, anything like that. But another good choice is this weapon right here. A weapon like an Ancestral Devotion, just to give you that bit of extra damage to weak points. If you go ahead and go into the details, right there, on hitting an enemy's weak point, inflicts the unique ability Devotion's Mark, which is basically going to reduce their defense, which is going to be another great addition to the build. Now let's talk about my Descendants modules. Okay, so I have a few different loadouts right here, but more or less this one right here is what I'm focusing on for my Endgame build. Okay, this is going to be focused around everything, mobbing and bosses, but it does very well against the bosses, as you saw. So first off, what we want to do is max out our shot punch. This is basically going to decrease or increase your capacity for your modules, which allows you to upgrade and put in more modules. Increased defense and increased HP is an obvious one when I get those maxed out to increase our, obviously, defense and HP. Now, don't worry too much about shields. Shields are very weak in this game. They're going to be destroyed pretty much instantly. That's where your defense and your HP is going to come into play. We're going to be running like 10,000 HP. Skill expansion, another great one to have. Skill effect range is going to be increased, is what we need as well. Now, MP collector. This one is going to allow you to basically have infinite sprints as long as you are picking up items, and this is going to increase those items that you're going to be getting from killing enemies. You're constantly going to have your abilities up and running. It's going to be great. Trust me, try it on, put it on, and have a crazy time just running around as Bunny and killing enemies, and that's going to be a game changer. Next up is focus on electric. Obviously, electric skill power is going to be increased, and our skill cooldown is also going to be decreased, is what we need. Nimble fingers is going to give us our skill cooldown by minus 25%. And also skill extension, that's going to increase our skill duration by a heavy amount. Now, if you want to go ahead and change anything about this, go ahead. Now, I did have another build, a few different builds here for my bosses. I did put on strong mentality for this one, and my mobbing build right here isn't 100% complete. I still kind of need to look over that, but for my build right now, I'm running this and it's doing me a solid. But if we're going to move on over to my bossing loadout, this is generally what I'm going to be going ahead and making it look like. This is basically just going to allow me to kind of focus more on bosses, not so much both at the same time like this one. This one right here is just basically just all-round bosses. But I'll be testing it out and making another video for specifically bosses. Moving over to our reactor. Now, we're going to have two different reactors for this, okay? So the first one I'm using right here is obviously the Tingling Singularity Reactor. We want to have electric and singular skill boosts. Now, this one, the purple one, it does have machine gun weapon equipped. So that's going to be great for my optimization condition, which is going to increase our build with the machine gun. Also, down at the bottom, I do have dimensional skill power, boost ratio, and additional skill attack when attacking Order of Truth. Now, the bottom ones, you can roll something a little bit better than I do. This is just what I'm running right now. And then next up, we do have another one, a gold one, which is going to be great for the Thunder Cage Mountain. That's going to give us an increase in our Thunder Cage damage, okay? Again, electric and singular is what you need, and I'll show you exactly on how to get something like that. Tech skill power, boost ratio, and sub attack power is another great ender just to finish off this reactor. And I don't know if 100% this is god roll, probably not, probably is, but it's an amazing reactor, both of them. So yeah, let me show you exactly on how to specifically attack these two. So once we are in the game, what you want to do is press M and go over into the hard mode, okay? And now we can go ahead and zoom in into the difficulty level rewards, okay? Now, once we're in this screen, we can basically just search up what we want to go ahead and collect. For example, we do need where is it now? A reactor, and we also want it to be in general rounds, and we want it to be a electric one, and also be singular. Now, in this area, right over here, you can farm a few different missions in order to farm that certain reactor, okay? It's going to drop it pretty much instantly. You're going to be getting like 6 every run. It's absolutely great. Now, I do highly recommend doing maybe something like the barracks. It says it takes about 5 minutes or less to get. And obviously in hard mode, things drop so much. It's actually kind of overwhelming, but you have the chance to drop the exact one that you want. So that's how you can focus getting specific items. Now, moving over to external components, I do highly recommend going for something like this for your auxiliary power, max HP and max HP. That's going to give us a huge amount of increase in our HP. Now, for example, if we're going to be taking this off, we're going to be losing our 646 and plus 419 HP. Which is going to dramatically decrease our HP. Right now, I'm creeping up on 7,000. I do want to try and get that 10,000 just so I can be a tank bunny. As well as this one right here, our sensor is also giving us max HP. But then we do want to focus on getting a max HP for that in the secondary slot there where my shield recovery output of combat is. Now, if we can get that, that's going to be an increase again, plus like another, maybe even up to like 1,700 plus HP. Next up, again, we want to get a defense support memory stick. Now, this one is going to give me a almost 5,000 in defense and a plus another 3,000 in defense, which is going to increase our defense by a huge amount. So that's going to be absolutely perfect. And then next up, obviously the processor, we do want to get another defense one, but I do highly recommend getting this one. Now, if you go into our processor, a very good one right here is from the Supernova processor. This is basically going to give you a set effect up to 4 different modifiers right there. So that's another great one you can go ahead and get. This one actually comes from the hard executioner boss that you can get. Now, for the memory, there's another great one you actually get from the boss as well, the Supernova. This is going to give you an extra damage as well. So those two together working is just going to be great as well. But I still have to get that and see how that works with the build. So again, we want to focus on max HP and max HP, and then max defense and max defense. Don't worry too much about your shield. We're not really caring about that really. And that is basically for this build. Now I'm going to be going ahead and doing the hard mode executioner. I'm not going to finish him off because it takes about 10 minutes to do. So we're just going to go in and just see how much damage we can actually output with this build. Now make sure you do have your machine gun or your submachine gun reactor and using the exact reactor for that specific weapon. So we're going to just go ahead, pick up some ammo right here. If I can just max out my ammo. And make sure that you do run around a lot and use your abilities, because as soon as you do use your abilities, you're going to be killing enemies around you in bosses, or if you're just going to be running through the campaign and basically farming different missions. As long as you have your abilities up and running around, you're golden. Okay, so now what we're going to do is just focus on our crit spots, and you're going to see a bunch of damage just coming out of him, and his shield is just going to be destroyed. And if he does spawn enemies in, we don't actually have to worry about them. Our abilities is going to take care of them, allowing you to drop more blue and red orbs so you can stack up your HP and also your mana. Okay, so you're gonna constantly just don't worry about the enemies. They're not going to be a problem. Just focus on the boss. His shield's already halfway down, and this is kind of like a sloppy run right now because he keeps running away from me. But either way, yeah, we can absolutely destroy this guy. So I really hope you guys enjoyed this video. Let me know down in the comments what you think about the build. Go ahead and try it out. I know a lot of you and most people right now don't even have their builds 100% completed, but definitely if you are trying to update your bunny in order to kill bosses or mobs or anything like that, or try to get through the campaign, or try to just farm hard mode bosses or anything like that, this is definitely a great way to start off getting your final build for bunny. Obviously there's going to be many different builds, and there's so much you could do in this game, but this is definitely has been a game changer for me trying to kill these hard mode bosses. I've been trying to do them with a team and I couldn't do it. So I went ahead and did it solo, tried this build out, and yeah, it's definitely been a game changer for me. I hope you guys enjoyed. Let me know down in the comments what you think about it. Hopefully you try it, and I'll see you all very soon.